The most important thing in the world is health, because you have nothing if you're dying. Second thing is family and friends who you love. And the third is money, because it's everything else. The smartest thing the rich people ever did was convince the broke people that money doesn't make you happy. Biggest scam alive, because money is freedom. It's freedom to drive what you want, eat where you want, go where you want. Money is freedom. Money is a bare minimum requirement for happiness, especially if you're a masculine man who wants to outcompete. Then you need money, because money is basically everything. They've convinced people, oh yeah, he has money, but I have friends and family who love me. So do I. People are psyoped into thinking that rich people are somehow lacking somewhere else, and I'm sure some of them are, but not all of them. There are some people that have everything, they're just gonna have to accept it. Some people just have it all. They have friends and family and good relationships and love their kids and a bunch of money. And if that doesn't anger you to get up and make a bunch of money, well, I don't know what will. You're sitting there saying, I want to be rich. You don't even have a plan to get rich. How the are you going to get rich on accident? Nothing good has ever happened on accident. Have you ever met a guy who's just got covered in muscle, he's got a six-pack? You're like, hey bro, how'd you do that? You've been going to the gym. No man, it was just an accident. Oops. No, he built that body purposefully. He did things specifically to get the result he desired. He ate a specific way. He trained a specific amount. He knew exactly what he was doing.
Money is the vested time and interest of other humans. If you have a bunch of money, you have the stored energy of other people. I'll give you a very simple example. I have money, so I can get somebody to sweep my floor. I have their stored time and energy in a note or on a bank balance where I can make them sweep the floor for as many hours as I so choose because I can afford to pay them. It's the stored time and energy of other people. So for evil to be done, it requires the time and energy of humans, and for good to be done, it requires the time and energy of humans. So money is like gunpowder. It can be used for good, it can be used for bad. So it can go both ways. Money is certainly an answer because if you're completely broke, it's hard for you to influence other people and influence the world by extension. So money is super important. And the other thing I think is important is fraternity and brotherhood and living for something larger than just money itself. You can go back any point in human history. Sooner or later, it got to a point where it was you and your boys, either your gang, your army, your team, whatever, against them and their boys. And whoever was right was the one who won. And that's all it's ever been. It's all it's ever going to be. It doesn't matter if you go left or right, you need to make money. It doesn't matter if you go up or down, you need to make money. It doesn't matter if you're happy or sad, you need to make money. $10 must be earned. $10 is worth X amount of time. $10 can get me X amount of time sweeping a floor. Time and energy of another human costs X amount of dollars. That's how money works. Your parents' idea of how to generate wealth no longer works. Your parents say just work hard, save your money, put it in a savings account, and then get a mortgage, and then you can pay off the house. That stuff doesn't work anymore. Back when your parents were doing that, the savings account gave them 6-7% interest. Now you don't even get 1%. Pay off the house. How much cheaper was a house in relation to their wages then than it is now? It's insane. People think rich people are sitting on these huge pools of money, and some of them are, the older ones, but the new generation, the young generation of rich people, they don't have huge sums of money. They just have very fast money coming in all the time. Imagine I said to you, you have $20,000 coming to your bank every single morning, 9 a.m. Every day for the rest of your life. You spend all that money. Every day, you spend that money. You jump on private planes, you buy supercars, you go to the club, you spray champagne everywhere, you do whatever you wanted. Hotel, 5-star suites, bang, 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 you rent a yacht. The money doesn't matter because next day new money comes. That's rich. Rich is not having a big pool of money. Rich is having money coming all the time. And when the money comes all the time, you're going to spend it all the time. When you spend it all the time, you're going to meet new people. And when you meet new people, they're going to teach you, they're going to make connections and networks, and they're going to allow you to make even more money. So now, after spending $20,000 every day, you're in Ibiza, you're on a boat, you're talking to some other millionaire, you find a way you can work together, you start working together, now you make $25,000 every day. But the money's fast. It's coming in, it's coming out quickly. Boom, 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 boom. And the way you get richer is for more and more to turn up each day, not to save more and more in a stagnant pool. In the 60s, you could be a normal man who worked in a factory, an unskilled labor job, and with one wage, you could afford a house, you could afford a car, you could afford to raise a family.
Times are good.
Times are good. You can't even be normal anymore. To be a winner, you have to be exceptional. You could be a winner as a normal person only 50, 60 years ago. Now the normal people can't even win. If you're a normal person, the number one thing you need is brotherhood. If you think you're going to get through this world by yourself, you don't stand a chance. I'd argue that the normal person who thinks they're so unique and great for no reason is more arrogant than me.
because even enough hyenas can kill a lion when it's on its own.
Yeah,
This is the reality of the world. You're always going to be more competitive with brotherhood on your side. You're never going to be competitive as a lone wolf. It doesn't matter how good you are. You'll just be outnumbered. There's massive strength in numbers. So you should be prioritizing your brotherhood. It's one of the quickest and easiest ways to get rich. It's not hard to work out that if you have 5 people pooling an income and you all trust each other, you can acquire assets quickly. You don't even need to have high incomes.
Yeah.
If you have 5 men pooling their assets,
anything.
well, you can buy a Lambo, you buy a house, you can buy something that's going to generate profit. It's not difficult to do if you can find men you can trust. And there's a Muslim guy I knew, and he worked in a chicken and chip shop, a fast food restaurant. He drove a Ferrari. So how do you drive a Ferrari working in a fast food restaurant? He said, well, I have 5 brothers, and we all pool our incomes, and we all live in one house. So okay, well, are you married? He goes, yeah, all our wives live in the house and they cook and they clean. They're all in the house cooking and cleaning, and us 5 guys are all out making money. We put our money together. We bought the house, and we bought a second house, and we bought this Ferrari, and we bought that 3rd house. And they all had very normal jobs. The problem with most people in the world today is not that they do a normal thing, it's that they do a normal thing and they don't try to be the best at it. People wake up in the world today now and say, I want to do what feels good, which is the path of hedonism. But often you're supposed to do things that don't feel good. It doesn't feel good to eat right. It doesn't feel good to train in the gym. It doesn't feel good, but you're supposed to because you're a man. So you can be a barista and you can just make coffees, or you can be a barista that makes the fancy coffees and can turn over all the cups and do like the tricks and all the garbage. We have a man who became a billionaire from salt.
Yes.
From salt. You can all put salt on. He did it the best. Bam. So the first thing you need to do is get very good at making coffees. That's the first thing you need to do. Be able to do it in a fancy way. Then you need to solicit attention. Well, if you can make coffees in a fancy way, you can hire a videographer. You can then begin to make fancy coffees in a fancy way, and you can make it look good with a finalized product, and you can get a nice video made that's well cut with some fancy music. You can begin to put them on Instagram and solicit people to watch your Instagram page. Now you have attention. How do you then turn that attention into money after you began to show your fancy coffees? Well, you could, let's say, put together a course or an academy or write a book on the magic of coffee or the secrets of coffee. And you would put a mystery on it. Don't say, I'll teach you how to make coffee. No, say the secrets of coffee. And you'd have a link in your Instagram page, and it would be $9, and it would tell people the secrets how to make coffee, for example. You'd start to sell that for $9. You'd make a couple hundred or a couple thousand, not too much, but you continue to make fancy coffees. People continue to go to your Instagram page. You're now selling the secrets of how to make coffee. Then, after people start knowing you as being a barista, you start to make these $9. You have $20,000, $30,000 in the bank. What you can do is launch your own coffee brand. You can go to Alibaba.com, you can find some coffee beans, you can put your face on it because your face is now a recognized brand. You can get your own coffee beans, you can begin to sell them on Instagram. Before you know it, you're making $10,000 or $15,000 a month. You can start to do tours. You can start to put posters on your Instagram or in your Instagram stories saying, I'm going to do master classes on how to make coffee, 20 people only, $1,000 each at this premium barista specialty coffee shop in London. The coffee shop will allow you to do it for free because they want people to know, get the advertising from you and your brand. You'll charge $1,000 each. That's 20 grand for a day. They teach people how to pour milk in a cup. Boom. You've got a coffee brand. You've got an online school. You're doing seminars. You put in a little bit of effort. Now you drive a Ferrari. Done. It is that easy to get rich in the world today if you actually try. People say work smart, not hard. Disagree. Work smart and hard, because lots of people are working smart. If you have 5 people working smart and the one who works hardest, he's going to win. I work smart and hard. I was having a conversation with someone the other day who said, oh yeah, I don't use AI because I'm a club promoter. And I said, if you're in any business in the world today, it doesn't matter if you're a plumber, it doesn't matter if you're a club promoter, it doesn't matter what business you're in, you should be learning how to implement AI, because there's going to be the people who use AI and the people who fail. Those are the only 2 options. Listen to the club promoter, what do? He said, well, I get guys to book expensive tables at the club because I bring pretty girls to the table. I said, okay, well, if you had an AI machine, let's say you use Sora to put together a video of the best club night ever, and let's say you use ChatGPT to speak to lots of girls and explain what's going to happen and why they're going to have a great time at the club, and also get ChatGPT to speak to rich men and explain to them what a great time they're going to have, and you could mass speak to people at a much larger rate than you can do by yourself sitting there typing, you're going to make more money.
Yeah.
You can implement AI in club promotion. You can get the most fancy video, and you can get a ChatGPT learning bot to realize exactly what trigger words get the girls to want to party and what trigger words get the guy to want to spend money. And you can put together some data, and you can stop talking to people completely, and you can focus on the AI learning mechanisms to do all the work for you, which is why we're teaching it inside of my university. There's not a job on earth where you shouldn't be using AI mechanisms to do it for you, because that's what they're doing to us already.
Yeah.
We live in this surveillance capitalism world where a lot of the tech companies, a lot of the largest companies in the world are making money purely based on prediction of our behavior. They build digital versions of us online based on all of our spending habits, how long we spend on each website, which part of the website we click on first, which websites we visit, how long we spend on our email, which email topics make us reply. They're constantly gathering data on us and putting together digital versions of us so they can predict our behavior to make as much money from us as possible. And once they can do that, they then try and alter our behavior so that we become more profitable. And they do this on purpose so that we become a person who's worth $12.59 to be a person who's worth $14.03 by altering how we react to certain things. So they're already building algorithms and trying to adjust how our mind works. I can't stop myself working as a person who doesn't need money. And then there's people with no money who don't work. You could give the average man a brand new Ferrari and a road map and a coffee and a full tank of gas and tell him the destination, success. And halfway along the drive, he'll quit because it's too far. What more? I've given you a Ferrari, a full tank of gas, I've given you the latte, I've given you a road map, I've given you a hot girl to sit next to you and play songs and do selfies. I've given you everything. Just drive the car. No, yeah, it's far. I don't have motivation. And then put on Netflix. It blows my mind. Then they say, I don't feel motivated. Newsflash, neither do I sometimes. You're not gonna always feel like doing it. You have to do it anyway because it's your duty to do it because you don't want to be a loser. That's the whole point. If you felt like doing it all the time, then there would be no magic to it. The magic is that you do it regardless of how you feel. Stop praying for an economic miracle. Stop praying for a political miracle. Stop praying for a miracle via digital currency. Get your act together and start working all day, every day, until you finally have enough for you to no longer have to be forced to live an experience you don't enjoy anymore. And this is why I teach the things I teach, and I say so much how important it is to be geographically free and make money and be strong and be brave and be adaptable. And people think I'm saying all these things so they can get girls and buy Lambos. No, I'm saying all these things so you can be the first one out of Saigon. But you don't want to try and be the last one. You don't want to be trying to get out when everyone else is trying to get out. You want to get out first. You need to think ahead. That takes money. It takes connections. You need a visa. You need another passport. You need a house you need things. I've lived my life and I've realized that I've never, ever been in a situation and regretted having loads of money. Ever. Whether I was in jail and I could pay for my mother and my children, whether I had legal problems and I could hire the best lawyers, whether I went driving and my car broke down, there's never been a time in my life where having loads of money was bad. Ever. It's always an advantage. It's a cure-all. Same with strength. I've never thought, damn it, I'm too strong. Wish I wasn't so strong. That doesn't happen. These are the two things that you can never get enough of. One of the best things about being a man is that if you improve yourself as a man, you automatically improve the lives of everybody around you. If you improve the life of your family and everyone who relies on you and everybody who cares about you and you care about. So improving yourself, self-improvement, improves society at large. And so the first thing you should do when you make money, especially that young, is invest in yourself. You should learn how to talk and articulate your ideas.
Yeah, I like that.
You should learn how to speak as...
Nobody really says that.
Well, but if you can't make people understand why you think what you think, how can you get along in the world?
Yeah.
You should be able to think of an idea and succinctly and compendiously explain it to people so they sit there and say, yes, I agree with it. You should get a fight coach. You should learn to fight. You can go to a racetrack, be a race car driver, learn how to race. You should improve yourself. You should sit and say, what skills can I learn that I can carry with me? I mean, if you get good at basketball, you need a basket and a ball.
Of course.
But if you get good at fighting, you have it. If you're good at speaking, you have it. So you should sit there and make a list of all the things that you'll always have with you, and you should upgrade your character. You understand in video games to upgrade your character. You'll see that some levels cannot be beaten unless you upgrade your character. No matter how good you are, you have to level up your character to beat the game. Well, the levels of life are the same. So you have to upgrade your character. So if you get money young, that's a massive bonus if you have the right mentality, if your mentality is self-improvement. Because money doesn't make a man, money amplifies a man. So if you're a smart person with money, you become very smart. If you're a G with money, you become the top G. So if you learn things along the way to wealth, the lessons that you learn are amplified by the money, you live a good life. So I think the best mental model as a man is to understand that you cannot be normal, you need to be exceptional, you need to do exceptional things. And if you start to do all these things, they all compound. Everything I've said across all these hours all tie into each other, and you end up in one result. You end up in one place, which is brutal competence, brutal masculine competence. There's nowhere else to be.
Nothing will save you besides your own brutal competence.
Or I believe that getting rich is one of the best things you can possibly do to help save the world.